Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on cryptoforgrowmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. Was good. So, Mr. Bags, what are you smoking? What the heck is this about? I kicked Mr. Bags out? What kind of nonsense is that? What's wrong with you? You feel okay? I don't. I'm sick. Welcome to Sunday Roundup, everybody. Have you invested in yourself today? Hopefully you also did yesterday. So what do we have going on? We've got regulatory development, market trends and institutional investment, tech industry growth and artificial intelligence, DeFi innovations and risks, government adoption of blockchain, traditional versus crypto finance competition, stablecoin market dynamics, and cybersecurity and exchange risks. That's what we've got going on this week. Let's get straight to the government, because that's probably the biggest topic that there is, and I don't want to waste your time. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm sick. So right now, what do we have going on? Well, we had the Genius Act. All three bills got passed. One, the Genius Act, goes straight over to the new regime's desk. The other two are headed to the Senate. Now, if you recall, hey, Rick Ritchie, I have been asking for some kind of a plan for our national debt. There isn't one. I've also been looking for, whatever risks that might pop up. We can name a couple, right? And whatever, opportunities that might pop up. We might be able to name a couple, right? So on the opportunity side, you probably have the ETFs. You probably have, the ETFs, right? What else is there on the positive side? Right? I'm not so sure about what's going on the positive side in that regard. What we have going on the negative side, well, we've got tariffs. We've got national debt that's just exploding. And something that people are not paying attention to, healthcare. Healthcare is going to be a problem. So once the big BM of a bill got passed, I've been looking at healthcare, or one of the things I've been looking at is healthcare. Why is that? Well, there's a proposal on the table from a large group of the insurers out there, and they're saying they want to raise insurance rates by 15%, the highest upward move in over 7 years. Now, that's not the only thing that troubles me. At this same time, you have the cutoff, or not cutoff. Yeah, well, no, it's cutoff. We got cut off, or the ACA, Obamacare. Those subsidies got cut off. So you could actually be seeing 75% or a 75% rise in healthcare in the United States for a lot of people. And when I say a lot, I mean millions. So that could be a problem. Then you've got the education problem, which is $7 billion taken away from education across the country. That's going to cause a problem. So there's a lot that's going on. But that healthcare piece, that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. And the impact of that happens, if they're allowed to do it, that'll happen August timeframe. Christmas is not going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people, is what I can see. So if I'm looking at negative impact on the market, I'm seeing a lot more negative side than positive side. Yeah, so that's going to be a problem. So I'm hoping that, this week can bring something that will make me think otherwise. But I'm not seeing it. SEC proposes innovation exception aims to streamline tokenization. And I'm like, yeah, they want to do a lot with tokenization. That's cute. The Bank of England warned against major banks issuing stable coins. Yeah, that happened. A lot happened over the past week let me put it to you like this. So much has happened over the past week that you might have forgotten what happened. The Clarity Act, it's one of them, goes up to the Senate. We'll see what happens with that. Now, the Genius Act with this whole stablecoin thing, nobody has said it. Well, I might have a couple of times. But I want you to think about this. A stablecoin that has to abide by all the rules that are being put forward, or that have been put forward with the Genius Act, it turns all of the stablecoins basically into CBDCs. I know it sounds crazy, but let that wash over you for a minute. Everything that they want these stablecoin providers to do turns them into a CBDC. Forget about the, dollar for dollar backing or backing with U.S. Treasuries. Forget about all that. What's the capability of the United States going in and telling a stablecoin issuer, you must do this, you must do that? These people have stablecoins. They have your stablecoin. Turn it off. I want you to stop and think about that. They'll do it just because, well, they're a business, right? And they're tied to this country's dollar. That's going to be a problem. I'm glad you're trying to crack jokes, but I'm not in the jokey kind of mood. I feel sick. So unless you're going to say something serious, I'm not even going to pay attention. But healthcare is going to be a problem. It's going to be a masterful problem. Masterful because it was how it was done. A piece here, a piece there, you put it all together, and now you have a major problem for healthcare. What's amazing is that everybody should have seen it coming, right? Because healthcare is nothing but insurance. Insurance is hosed, so that would mean that healthcare is hosed. So imagine your healthcare bill going up 75%. How many people can afford that? Oh, you want your job to pay for it. Your job doesn't pay for anything. You pay for healthcare. You pay for healthcare. And now it's going to become more difficult to do that. And like I said, education, $7 billion gone in a heartbeat for education across the United States. Now, people will stop and think about that and they'll be like, oh, that's not a problem. But no, it is a problem. Yeah, Mr. Big, I understand what you're saying, but how you're saying it, I don't agree with. It's not, it is what it is. I absolutely disagree with that kind of statement. It is what you let it become. And for all those people out there that are going to be crushed by this, I kind of sit there and I kind of go, a lot of you voted for it. So yeah. So what do we say? Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Why? Because macro events like this are going to come down to this kind of level, and it's going to be a problem. And unless you're preparing for this problem, remember when I said that you are going to have to invest, not save, but invest just to make it by? And here you go. That's the problem. So when I sit back and I look at these things, I'm kind of like, damn, that's going to affect a whole lot of people on so many levels. When the United States got rid of, what was it called, Job Aid or something like that, when they got rid of that program, it says that if you're a kid that came through the foster care system and then you were doing this whole job aid thing, you had someplace to live, you were learning a trade, and when you graduated, you would have a job and you'd be able to do all that. Well, they killed that. So that was one. Now you're not going to have after school programs unless, you live in a more affluent neighborhood. You're going to have major problems. And people are sitting back and wondering, what do we do about it? I can tell you now, I'm expecting crime rates to go up. sounds insane, but I really do expect crime rates to go up. Because you're going to put people in a position of desperation. What happens when crime rates go up? Oh, then it's okay to change other things. We already had the military on public streets, not helping, but in quote unquote enforcing the law. So that's going to be a problem. Everything plays into everything else. Not to mention, economically, we're kind of putting ourselves in a corner. I mean, when you look at the United States right now, you have to ask yourself, who's an ally? We've pushed all our friends away. Mexico, Canada, Europe. So yeah, you're going to have to invest just to survive. Just to survive. It's going to be a problem. I'm hoping it isn't a problem for most of us, but from what I see, I think it's going to be a problem. I don't see how something that happened in 301 AD is something that everybody's seen before. It's irrelevant to most people. Nobody's going to remember that. Good information, but nobody's going to remember that. And with the educational system the way it is, most people are not going to learn about it. That's what makes it more sad. What else did we have? We had Bitcoin surge, right? It's at 118 now. Is it doing anything much? No, not really. Education has been broken for years, and it must all be torn down to build a better system. I hear what you're saying, but I don't know that it needs to be torn down. I think we need to stop treating some areas better than others, because that's really what the problem is. Right? I mean, everybody that wants to rip apart the public educational system, they all have their kids in private education systems. That's really what's going on. That's really what's going on. And that's no joke. McMahon, you think her kids, does she have kids? Yeesh. But do you think her kids, if she has kids, do you think, actually, I know she has kids. Do you think her kids went to public schools? No. They probably don't even know what a public school looks like. Everybody that wants to get away from public education, they've all got their kids in private schools. And you know what happens? If you've got your kid in private school, do you know the state that you're in could actually pay for their education? Go look it up in Texas. I think we have the same thing in New York. Because every child is allotted a certain amount of money, and that can go toward their education. It was a very big deal in Texas because they literally took money from over here to put it over there for people that have money. Rich get richer. What's going on, Turtle Bitcoin? I don't understand the point you're trying to make. And Mr. Big, what do you mean by Mississippi? You don't have to. I don't have to be in Mississippi to understand what's going on, if that's what you mean. I mean, it happened. I mean, it happens all over the place. And you know what's crazy is the people that voted for this. The hardest hit states will be the poorest states in this country. The hardest hit will be the poorest in this country. Yeah. So after school programs, STEM programs, it's going back to the way it was way back in the day. And people go, no, it's not. It is. The reason why I say so is because when you look at college education, at least, it wasn't meant for everybody. It was meant for the affluent. It wasn't about being white or black. It was about having money, having reach, having power. And it seems to be going right back in that direction, except with college. I'm sorry, I struck a nerve. You don't need college. Some people look at me like I'm crazy that you don't need college. I want you to think about the education that you have access to. If you look at traditional college teaches you 2.5 years of nothing that you need, right? Because that's the stuff that makes you a well-rounded individual. And then 1.5 years, 1.5 years of what you do need, which is not nearly enough to hit the job market. If you look at these certification programs and things like that, you could really do things with it. You can go get certified. You can learn some trades. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. But I think a lot of people are going to have to stop and rethink what it is that they're trying to accomplish, how and where they want to accomplish that. But the United States is about to get really, really hard to survive. And I mean survive. The Bitcoin surge went all the way up to 123. We've been hovering at 118, 119 for days now. And people are like, and I'm kind of to be expected. Hey, pause. From a monetary perspective, Rick Ritchie, I disagree with you. Aloha, a pause. Thank you for letting me know that you are investing in yourself. Turtle Bitcoin, you're funny. Hutanik, to your discrimination point, I wish I could disagree with you. And what's amazing is you have to have insurance to, let's say, have a vehicle. There are certain things you must have insurance for. So you wind up paying all this money, and then all of a sudden you turn around and you're not covered. Make it make sense. Again, I firmly believe that you must invest in order to make ends meet. I used to believe that you could invest so that you could live a better life. Right now, I'm thinking with all these prices, you're going to have to invest just to make ends meet. Something else that nobody's talking about. Have you seen grocery prices? Not coming down, are they? Lieutenant, you need to chill out, really. Your statements sometimes can be offensive to others. Be careful. But I'm looking at this and I'm just saying, wow. How do you get ahead? How do you plan? How do you plan? Now, if you're a person and you have means, I can tell you some areas that you can make money from. One of them is going to be real estate. It's going to be residential real estate. You can make money off of residential real estate. Why? Because there's going to be so much on the market coming up soon. Sad, but true. Sad, but true. So, yeah. People are getting angry. My service staff can even tell. It is tough out there. Man, every now and then, I say something and I know it's going to bother people. And I don't mean to. Sometimes I do. Most of the time I don't. But people are getting mad. And it's not without reason. A lot of people don't understand why, right? Why is all of this happening? It's because they're not looking and they're not seeing that this little thing was squeezed in over here and it's detrimental to them. How is it that we're having money taken away from education, but rich people can have 100% of their new jet written off year one? So if you buy a jet for $10 million, you get to write off $10 million, which means you get to, now you're not paying it off in a year. So you're not really out, but you get to write that off. So you're given free money to go make money. So what do you do the next year? You sell it and you buy another one. Crazy, right? But that's how it works. That means every year you get to re-up on a jet. Okay? And write it off 100% in that first year. So maybe you keep the jet for a year, maybe you keep it for 2 years, but you know you haven't paid off that $10 million in 2 years, so you sell it. You've already gotten the write-off, and now next. Just saying, it's insane. It's insane. So all those little things that get snuck into these bills, right? Make the rich richer, make the wealthy wealthier. Actually, there's only two buckets. There's the wealthy and there's the poor, because the rich are disappearing. The rich might rise to the top in the poor bucket, but they're still in the poor bucket. They're a hair away from either being wealthy or being really poor, in my humble opinion. So when I look at everything and how it's about to hit everybody, that's what I think about. Much respect, Ed. That's why I love this community. Everybody understands. My pleasure. Max Salas, what's good? I don't give advice like that, Max. You know that. You'd have to ask somebody else. Just the pizza. You don't need the beer. You kind of just want a cold beer. There's a difference. Max, I don't give out advice like that. That's not what I'm all about. I don't do that. You'd have to ask somebody else in the community. Frankly, I don't know that there is anything that's going to go 100x in this cycle. I don't know that things like that exist anymore. I could be wrong. There are a few things that are done well, but 100x? Yeah, I don't know about that. We've had Ondo do well. We've had Hyperliquid do crazy well. We've got other coins that are going to wind up doing well, but 100x? Could you go way down and find yourself, hard to do, way down and find yourself a little coin that isn't doing anything, most likely a meme, and find something that'll do 100x? Maybe. But because it's so far down on the list, are you really going to put that much money into it? Like, would you take $1,000 and slap it onto a meme coin? And before you say, well, if I had it, well, if you had it, you wouldn't be looking for 100x, right? So you've got to find a stack of meme coins, right? You got to find a stack of meme coins, and you're going to put $1,000 on each? Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe 100, but even that's a lot. So let's suppose you find 10 and you put 100 each. That's $1,000. Is one of them going to be that 100x? You've got to make back that 1,000, right? And I think the risk is incredibly high because the chances of any of them getting you back your money is difficult. Not that it can't be done. Obviously, it can be done. But you've got to be ahead of everybody else. It's almost like you should be watching the bots that are backing up that coin. Sucks. But then on the other side, that risk side, why would I touch it if it's going to be powered by bots? Fake traffic, fake everything. Why would I be paying attention to it? Why would I put my money there? To me, that's a bigger chance to lose. I told you what the deal was. You come up with a coin, you buy all of it yourself. Split it between a few wallets, then immediately put it up for sale when everybody wants it. All that money comes back to you. Rug pull. Just saying. Work in the fields to make sure the family had to eat. Yep. He left Mississippi and got his degree. He is the true investor. Look at me. Yep. Bitcoin will go 100x in the next 15 years. You're funny. I like that. You're funny. I don't think so. I have zero confidence in that. Zero confidence. And you're talking about Bitcoin. I have zero confidence in that. Why? Because Bitcoin is going to be used differently than everything else. And I don't know that Bitcoin is capable of handling that. I really don't. So there's that. I don't think it'll do it. Eight pause, hat tip to you. That's great advice. Got to do your own research on what you got. I have a rule, no more than 400. If you feel that good on it, watch it and leave. Yep. Because you've got the same rule. You have a rule about how much money you're going to put into something like that. And you have a rule about when you're going to get out. And you stick by those rules. Most people don't have a plan, and asking a broad stroke question like, what's the next 100x? That's so 2 cycles ago. Maybe last cycle. Is it going to be this one? I don't think so, because I don't know that it's a cycle. I don't know that it's going like this. I think we did the last cycle, and now it's just going like this. Right? I don't think it's a cycle. You're right now looking at the normalization of so many different coins that are out there that can do things. Ethereum for development, Bitcoin for investment, Cardano for transactions, XRP for transactions, specific kinds of transactions, right? You're going to see a massive, massive shakeout of coins. There are hundreds of millions of coins, actually. Hundreds of millions of coins that mean nothing, that do nothing, that will never amount to anything. I think that one will be 100x. That one. No. That one. Max, that's how I feel about it. I think you have to do your own research. You have to know your entries and exits. And you're absolutely going to have to invest deliberately. If you're shooting for 100x in these coins, I think you're destined to fail. Excuse me. I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just sharing my opinion just like everything else. So I think you should be careful. Maybe you get lucky. You find 100x. Am I really looking for 100x? I'm never looking for 100x. Maybe a 10. Maybe a 10x. Yeah, so 100x from 2009 is what you meant. Yeah, sure. Ups and downs, ups and downs. I don't think Bitcoin has, in 15 years, I don't think Bitcoin has it. Everybody seems to think that Bitcoin is the coin. It's going to be the coin. I don't know. Because there's not much I can do with Bitcoin. Such a huge percentage of Bitcoin is being held. Hodled. Never to be used again. Something to think about. Now, don't get me wrong. I will DCA into Bitcoin, not a problem. But that doesn't mean I'm going to blindly leave my money there, leave my value there for the next 15 years. Percentage-wise, over the past, let's see. Percentage-wise, year to date, I would have made more money with Bitcoin. 26% for Bitcoin, 12.17% for Ethereum. But in 90 days, I would have made 125% on Ethereum and 39%, call it 40%, for Bitcoin. Just because Bitcoin will make money doesn't mean that it'll be the biggest money maker. Let's run with the idea that what you say is correct and Bitcoin does 100x in 15 years. That means there are other coins out there that will easily do 1000x. Just saying. Enrique, what's good? What's good? Bitcoin is not a pet rock. I don't think Bitcoin has a lot of potential with DeFi. I think Bitcoin is like gold. You can use it as collateral, things like that. It's not going to be a big DeFi transaction type engine. Aave, Polygon, Ethereum, Uniswap, so many other things that can be used for Chainlink, XRP, Hedera. So many other things could be used on the transaction level. Bitcoin, not one of them. Bitcoin is not meant right now. I do not believe it's meant for transactions. It's too bulky, too costly. That's a grand idea, Lieutenant. That's a grand idea. That's all I can say about it. I don't know that I disagree with you with regard to potential with DeFi though. Excuse me. I think holding on to Bitcoin is going to be like holding on to gold, holding on to other precious metals, holding on to real estate. I think holding on to stocks is going to be like that, where I can leverage that to get money to go do something. It's not a transactional thing, and DeFi is heavy on the transaction. So I don't think so. Doesn't mean that it's not going to make money. It just means it's not going to make money as a part of the transaction. I think it'll make money based on, or it'll be used for collateral. There aren't that many other coins out there that can be used as collateral out there like that, right? Everything that you're talking about, everything out there is meant for transactions. Just give it some thought. It doesn't take a lot. Just give it some thought. Turtle Bitcoin, I'm not sure about what you're saying in that sentence. I really don't know what you're saying in that sentence. Mr. Big, the 100Xs are gone. The coins that are coming out now are so overvalued. Yeah, they are overvalued. I don't even understand how they are valued. Feel me? I don't see how. A-pause, you're funny. So yeah, there's a lot going on in that space. You have momentum in Ethereum. People used to look at me like I was crazy when I was talking about Ethereum, right? And then you look at Ethereum and you're like, holy moly, Ethereum out of nowhere is just coming off the top rope. Yep. Ethereum ETFs are going to take off. I think they'll continue to take off, and the reason why is because Ethereum is meant to be used. HODL Bitcoin, use Ethereum. Just saying, that's how I look at it. From the tech side, Microsoft and NVIDIA's market caps soared. Yeah, they did. Big whoop. Chips are being sold. I'd be looking at plays between stocks and crypto, specific sectors, especially DPINs or decentralized physical infrastructure networks, because I need DPINs to run all this crap, whether it be for crypto or AI. Ta-da! Something else, I keep saying, I'll be looking at energy. I'll be looking at energy in a major fashion. Yeah, but Taro, I want you to hear what you're saying. Something running on Bitcoin just makes Bitcoin run slower and cost more to do. Which means that there are far more efficient ways to get things done. Yeah, nah. Which base layer? Fees on Ethereum have come down. Fees on certain blockchains have come down. But you can't say that across the board. It's not how it works. There is no one rule to rule them all. That's what I'm saying. Bitcoin is not meant for transaction. Bitcoin is meant to be used to transact in terms of, this woman's killing the tee box over here. Oh my God, she looks like she's just digging a hole. Horrendous. Some people should just not be on the golf course. She needs lessons. And let me guess, she will not replace her divot. Do you think Ethereum profits will naturally flow into Solana? I don't even understand how that makes sense. Bebo, I don't see how that even comes close to making sense. What does Ethereum have anything to do with Solana and vice versa? Nothing. Why would Ethereum profits flow into, you mean when people make money on Ethereum, they'll put it into Solana? Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're one crash away from Solana going away. How's that sound? Like, I'm serious. I think we're one crash away from Solana just biting the dust. Solana's got a lot of problems on its heels. Solana has a lot of problems on its heels. BNB chain is already, blowing it away. Even Doge, you could kind of say Doge is up next, but Doge is real far away. $97 billion compared to Doge's $37 billion. But here are two coins that actually do something and seem to be reliable. Cardano, Hyperliquid, Stellar, Sui, Chainlink, Hedera, even Bitcoin Cash, Avalanche, even Shiba Inu. Enrique, Solana has more than some work to do. And it'll be on a few fronts, right? They've got to show that they're going to be decentralized, because to me, they're not right now. And they've got to demonstrate to me that they've gotten rid of their network gremlin, as well as they've got to be able to prove to me that their network is even reliable. I don't believe Solana's network is reliable. I think they dropped too much. So would I put anything on there? Woo! You'd have to tie me up and shoot me up with something. I couldn't do that with a straight conscience. No way. Absolutely no way. I have not made the most on Solana. I've made the most on Ripple. That's how long I've been holding it. I remember when Ripple was like 33 cents. Ta-da. Huh? I don't think Solana's dead. I just don't think Solana has... Like I said, Solana has two big problems to overcome: decentralization, network reliability. Right? Those are the two things it needs to overcome. Its other problem is that you have other coins that are catching up really fast. And there are some coins down here. I'm looking at the list. There are some coins down here that I could see would completely blow away Solana. If Cardano keeps upping its marketing game, once Cardano catches up to Solana, Solana's done. I'll say it again. Once Cardano steps up its marketing game, Solana's done. So when I say step up their marketing game, how many transactions per second can we handle? How many drop transactions? how many drop packets, that kind of thing. Decentralization, hands down, one of the most decentralized projects that are out there already. Speed, speed. I think they might already beat Solana right now. So when I look at something else that I pay attention to is Cardano has an idea. It seems like everybody's got an idea about the threat of quantum computing, except for Solana. It seems like the top engines out there are kind of like, quantum computing is something that we're looking at, blah, blah, blah. But not a full-chested. I mean, like Cardano's full-chested, Ethereum full-chested. You've got platforms out there, projects out there that are full-chested about the work that they're doing with regard to quantum computing. Not just speed, but resilience, security, like all those things. Cost. I'm telling you, Cardano keeps on its current trajectory. Solana has a problem. So if Bitcoin remains above Solana, right? I mean, not Bitcoin. If BNB chain remains above Solana, remember, BNB chain is a part of that connective tissue. There are tons of projects that are built on BNB chain. Okay. So if it maintains, right, and Solana doesn't surpass it again, on its heels is even just Doge. But I don't think Doge is a real champion to go after it. But I think Cardano is. If Cardano steps up, I'm going to tell you something else. You want to know a dark horse that could really mess with Solana? Not just Cardano. And I don't like this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. It hurts so much to even say it. Jesus. Tron. That could be a problem for Solana. But then you have some of these newcomers that are being used. Hyperliquid, Stellar, like I said, Sui, Chainlink, Hedera, Bitcoin Cash, Avalanche. You could take a look at the whole list in the top 25. Monero at 25. Could come along and beat the living daylights out of Solana. Let me tell you something. If Solana gets bunny hopped by another coin, Solana's done. I'll say it again. I'll say it out loud. If Solana gets bunny hopped by another coin, Solana is done. Stick a fork in it. They'll struggle, they'll fight back and all that good stuff, but boom, 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 you're going to see it fall. Two underrated coins in that list, Cardano and Hedera Hashgraph. Two of the most underrated coins in that top 25 area. They do tech differently. That's why I look at it. Thanks for the input. What do you think Solana has to do to prevent its downfall? You already said that. So, Leroy Tice, what's good? Thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself. But to bring it full circle, Babo, it's gonna be decentralization and network reliability. From a business perspective, there's no way in the world I would ever trust Hedera. Not going to happen. I mean, I trust Hedera. I would never trust Solana. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I don't think a lot has to happen for Solana. Like I said, you are one incident away. One. Let there be an outage. Let there be congestion, as they say. But you do 100,000 transactions per second. So congestion shouldn't be your problem. Let there be one incident. Let there be one. You will see a whole lot of projects just jump ship. Where will they go? Where will they go? They'll go to Ethereum. They will go to Ethereum. Yep. So I can tell you now, the way I look at it is the problems that I see, excuse me, there's a lot of downside risk to Solana. A lot of downside risk to Solana. So can I see Solana get bunny hopped? I mean, you look at the money right now and you go, well, Solana is only at $97 billion. Nobody's going to bunny hop Solana at $97 billion. What's the biggest thing out there in the coming crypto space? You get it yet? Real world assets, tokenization. I don't hear a lot about real world assets happening on Solana. It doesn't mean it's not, but real world assets are happening a lot on other platforms. So I can easily see how Solana gets kicked in the teeth. I can easily see that. And I wouldn't be so negative on Solana if the Solana team was a bit more transparent. They're not. Oh, well, we experienced it the last time they went out. Oh, well, we had congestion. What do you mean congestion? 100 transactions per second, right? So which one is the lie? That's when you're sitting there and you're kind of like, oh, yeah, you can't have both. You can't have both. Stop that. The consensus mechanism on XLM is faulty. What makes you say so? And my next question is going to be, what makes you say so? And how do you feel about XRP? Babo, that's exactly it. Meme coins are going to die. A most gruesome death. Kicking, screaming. There'll be a lot of crying. There'll be a lot of tears. There'll be a lot of therapy. What makes Solana, the bulk of their traffic is from bots pushing what? Meme coins. When those meme coins fall off, Solana will fall off. What do you replace that with? I hear a lot of people talk a lot of crap about Doge. Doge has got real traffic. Right? Nobody's building meme coins on Doge. Nobody's building meme coins on freaking Cardano. Nobody's building meme coin. You're not going to build a meme coin on a freaking meme coin, but still, nobody, meaning Doge. Hyperliquid is coming up because it's a platform. Okay? Stellar. Again, I just need to understand what people are thinking because Stellar is, same basic technology as XRP or XRPL. But everybody else on here seems to have real traffic. Real traffic. What boosts Solana? Meme coins. What do I think will go away in the very near future? Meme coins. I believe you. It could be built on Cardano, but it's not a meme coin platform. That's not what people are doing. That's not what most people are doing. There's so many failures that they count as TPS. Yeah. That's right. Excuse me, because TPS is transactions per second, not failed and succeeded. Different world when you think about things like that, in that light. So do I think that, do I think there's going to be a problem for Solana in the very near future? Yes. Like I said, when people start figuring out that meme coins suck. They serve no purpose. The 100x life is gone. Meme coins will go away. NFTs will wind up coming back. Will they come back to the way they were before? Not really, but they have their use cases. Right? To me, they have their use cases. So they'll come back. Meme coins? Woof. Into the chasm they go. Into the chasm they go. Hutanic, when you think about it, they do their own DDoS on themselves. So yeah, when I look at Solana, some people go, well, Solana's something that you're not going to take down Solana. Nobody's going to bunny hop Solana. XRP did. All these coins out here have the potential of doing it. Even Doge has the potential of doing it. Everybody in the United States, I need you to not look at just the United States. I need you to look at it from a global perspective. Around the world, other coins get used a lot. Look at it like that. AI agents might replace meme, but as long as there is a lottery ticket, there'll be a meme coin. In my opinion, I drastically think you're wrong, and you're talking about two completely different things. AI has nothing to do with meme coins. Completely different technologies. I don't even understand the correlation. I don't understand how you get there from here. Clearly, my company does both. You can't get there from here. They're two separate things. Completely separate things. In the future, you're going to be looking at real transactions. Moving money, settlements, RWA. There won't be one coin to rule them all. So RWA is going to happen across coins. Turtle Bitcoin, please spell out SCP. Well, that's my daughter with Stitch. Right? So I understand where you're coming from. I totally get it. Completely different areas. Completely different. Right? AI is a technology, and AI from a tech perspective is a D-pins play in crypto. That's all it's going to be. You'll be buying into a business that has a coin. If you have a distributed infrastructure, okay, now you're talking about a service that you can actually provide, and you're going to be moving all that stuff via a coin. Okay, cool. But if you're just a business and you happen to have a coin, I think a lot of those are going to wind up dying off as well. Sounds crazy, but I think that's what's going to wind up happening. So there's a lot to contend with. But we're all focused on, Solana doing something. How about you look at it from another perspective? Look at it from a Stellar perspective. Look at it from the other coins that are out there that are making upward momentum moves. Hyperliquid came out of nowhere. Ondo's coming out of nowhere. Sui's come out of nowhere. Stellar has been around forever, and it's just getting back in the top 15 coins. I want you to think about that. It's been rising quickly. Stellar's one of the oldest. People forget that. Built on very similar technology to XRP, because that's where they came from. They're doing a lot to move money between, cross borders. Just saying. What does Cardano do that you can put your finger on it, that you can say, it does this very well, besides drop packets? Transactions, I'm old. Stitch is a Puerto Rican mutt. He was actually found with his siblings on a beach on Puerto Rico. He's our little rescue. Excuse me. Cardano's consensus mechanism is a robust and probably secure proof of stake protocol. I could care less. Hear me out. Not trying to be funny. Cardano is decentralized. It's fast. It's resilient. It's secure. Its uptime is ridiculous. Name another one that has an uptime like Cardano. Name one. Ta-da. I'm telling you, Cardano's going to get bigger. Here's how Cardano works. Cardano just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Slow and steady, wins the race, and that's what Cardano does. That's what I see Cardano doing. Oh, Stitch is not going to come in here. My daughter's home. He's all about my oldest. He's not going to come down here. Now, if she wasn't home, then he'd be in here. Probably be sitting on the couch right there. So yeah, we have a lot that we could be looking at, and I'm going to tell you now. I don't know. I will take the wins as they come, but I can tell you now what I'm watching right now is all about risk. It's all about risk. So I'm doing my sprinkle, my DCA, sprinkle. Right? But I'm looking at risks. The positive side of the equation is so short. I'll take it if they come. But I think there's more risk than anything else. Money doesn't follow tech. I think you're wrong about that. In Cardano's case, I think you're wrong about that. More and more development is happening on Cardano. And when I say development, I mean real development. I mean real building. Not meme coins via a launch pad that's not meant to do anything. I mean real building, solving problems, developing use cases. But there's going to wind up being a shakeout over the next 2 years. Meme coins will be first, period, by far. Transactions in the DeFi space will grow by far. Real world assets will grow by far. And I'm talking, then these are places that Solana does not really play well in. That's where that is. Excuse me. Rick Ritchie, I don't even know what that statement means. I don't even know what that statement means. Give me a full sentence, a full thought on what you're thinking. Why does Solana have $97 billion if they follow tech? I don't know what that statement means. I need a little bit of help on that one. That's not the question I have, Hutanik. To me, that's not the question. I'm not even worried about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. I'm just saying I'm not worried about that. Everything else that's out there, that's not something I'm worried about. As far as ADA, I'm like Hutanik. I'll never sell my ADA. I can't. You guys know I can't stand when anybody says I will never sell. I can't stand statements like that. Can't stand statements like that. I can't say that. Sometimes you got to do things that you never thought you'd do. But in terms of what I'm looking for in the future, in the near future, over the next 2 years, meme coins to drop dead. Certain meme coins. There are certain meme coins that do well. Fartcoin, Bonk, Pepe. There are a few that are out there that I believe will just do well. They'll stick around just because they're cool, right? That's what happened to Shiba Inu. So I can expect a new crop. So, but for the most part, I'm expecting millions of coins just to fall off. Millions. There's a reason why the crypto tracker only tracks up to 250 coins. There's such a range in that top 250. There's like a mad range in that top 250. Like mad. So yeah. But when I look at the coins that are out there right now, I'm looking at, well, what do you do? How do you do it? What are you doing different than everybody else? Or are you just, opening up another bakery? There are 5 bakeries in the town. You're opening up another bakery. Maybe your cookies are better than everybody else. I mean, they're not as good as my son's, but maybe your cookies are better than everybody else's, except for my son's. Yeah, I'm biased. I just don't see Solana surviving that. When meme coins drop dead, Solana's done. All that traffic, all the motion, the engine that drives their number up will be gone. What happens with Solana? There are far more people building on BNB, Cardano, Ethereum, obviously, Base. Everybody forgets about Base. Arbitrum, Aptos. There's so many coins out there that, people are building on. People like to act like they're building on Solana, but they're really not. You're not a builder if you just use the launch pad to create a meme coin. And when meme coin drop dead, those prices are going to drop. Because the coins already exist, Rick Ritchie. Big money doesn't follow tech. They follow their own agenda. Big money followed Solana because they thought Solana was doing something, because they didn't know any better before. That's really what happened. But now big money has been playing with all of these other coins, and they're like, oh, we didn't know that's what the world looks like. And again, big money isn't banging on Solana. Big money is banging on other coins. You seem to think that there's big money on Solana. There's far less big money on Solana than on other blockchains. Far less on Solana compared to other blockchains. Solana has an ETF. You haven't heard jack squat about it because it sucks. Everybody's talking about Ethereum, Bitcoin, or Bitcoin, Ethereum. Ethereum will continue to grow. When XRP comes out, that'll be a big one. There's so many other coins that are out there that will have ETFs that will grow that, because real work is happening. It's not just the tech. It's real work that's happening. And Solana is not something that you could just throw money at and expect it to work. Hey, Stitchy. Hey, Stitchy. No, he'll probably sit underneath my desk for a little while. Big money will eventually follow real tech like algo. Nobody's going to follow algo. I'm sorry. I love Algorand, but I don't think that's a thing. Yeah, that's cute, Hutanic. Nobody's playing the game at that level. You're expecting a special category for risky crypto. DMAC was good. It's a far smaller market. And with crypto, I don't think that it'll be there strong enough. Because remember what happens to stock, right? You have pink sheets in stock market. Those companies are actually trying to do something. Those are companies trying to achieve something. It is very nice. I wasn't trying to be funny. Not that time. But when you look at Cardano, great. When you look at Solana could wind up falling into being the equivalent of, a penny stock. right? Get delisted. I just think Solana is not going to last long. I do not see Solana lasting long. If I look over the next 5 years, is Solana still here? Yes. It'll be an afterthought. In my humble opinion, Solana will be an afterthought. How do you compare what you can do on all these other chains versus Solana? I mean, versus, Solana versus everybody else? What do you do? What do? You can't be trusted for real-time transactions. Cannot be trusted for real-time transactions. But I can do in-store with Cardano, Hedera. There are a lot of coins out there right now that are fast enough to do in-store. Like the transactions are like that. XRP or Ripple, XRPL. That Solana you're not going to do that with Solana. Get paid in Solana? Oh, I'd never get paid in Solana. I'm not trying to get paid in Solana. I mean, my web hosting platform, we might say, well, just to show people that we could do it, we'll put it up there. But I'm not trying to get paid in Solana. You want to pay me? You better choose a better stack than that. So yeah, next, 2 to 5 years. But you'll start seeing signs within 2 years that Solana is done. That's what my humble opinion says. So Rick Ritchie, why are you trying to fight with me then if you think in 5 years most tokens will be gone? Sir. Most likely absorb the rest. I don't think they absorb the rest. I think they absorb the rest because the rest can't do anything and everybody has to fall back on one of those coins. And I think it'll be the top 50, not the top 20. Top 50 has a lot of choice. Aave is number 29, okay? Monero's number 25. Ondo's 36. Top 50 coins. I think you have, even Algorand. I'm not a huge fan of Algorand, but it is cheap and it is fast. Arbitrum's another one that people build on, but it's not worth much right now. VeChain is in the top 50. Render's in the top 50. So I'd say the top 50 coins, you could see motion. You could definitely see motion. Let's see. Wow. I was tracking a star because of its deal with Toyota. It's still number 227. So when I look at everything that's going on out there, I just kind of look at it and say to myself, yeah, Solana's going to get its teeth kicked in by one of these other tokens. Hard. It will be embarrassed. So I'm weighing risk. I'm not weighing positive, outcomes. I'm weighing risk. Because you can still make money off of risk. Let's not get it twisted. You can make money off of risk. Right? By choosing the right horse, you can make money off of risk. But you have to understand risk. Hence, I keep telling you guys, you must have your own risk framework so you can understand how you want to make decisions and things like that. Hence, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Oh no, of course you can speak your opinion, but it sounds like we're almost on the same page. So that's why I was saying I don't understand that. No, we don't know what'll happen, but we can kind of read the tea leaves. You can see who's got real transactions and who doesn't. Solana doesn't have a ton of real transactions as compared to its competitors. So there's that. And Hutanik, I don't agree with that. I think you're talking about, we're discussing right now the next monetary system. I think a lot of fiats could drop dead the same way there are certain cryptos I believe will drop dead. That's the one thing we didn't discuss. I think that is a strong possibility. You already have countries that are moving away from their own fiat. Crazy, right? Crazy. I think you're going to see more people move away from stablecoins, by the way. Especially in the United States. I think you'll see more people move away from stablecoins. Get paid in stablecoin and immediately move out of there. Or maybe they get paid in fiat and immediately get out of there. Why? You're going to trust your government to let you use your money the way you want to use it? Sounds stupid. But I'm fat. I want to go to Dairy Queen and buy some ice cream. Government could literally say, not allowed to shop at Dairy Queen because he's a fatty. The Genius Act to me is a pseudo stablecoin rule, a pseudo CBDC rule. Sorry. So yeah, I'm not feeling that. Not feeling that at all. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you like what we're doing over here. Tell your friends about us. Definitely join up and follow the news. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Start pulling together your own risk framework. Start managing that risk framework. Trust me, it'll make it a lot easier for you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. And everybody, thank you for your opinions. That's what this is all about. Rick, Richie, and I disagree all the time. So do me and Hutanik and everybody else. We all have differing opinions, and it's those differing opinions that set us apart from everybody else, because we can have differing opinions, yet still respect each other enough to actually say, you know what, you have a point right there. I don't agree with you, but that is a good point. And every now and then when you find those good points, that can be helpful to you in managing your bag. Anyway, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go relax. I'm still feeling sick. Been sick all weekend, so you could tell by my eyes. Anyway, everybody, have a good one, and thank you. Bye-bye.